Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à RGTV et bienvenue dans votre émission Conversation 2.0. Nous sommes très heureux que vous êtes en train de nous suivre et que vous continuez toujours à nous suivre cette émission, l'émission que vous aimez. Alors je me permets de me dire l'émission que vous aimez parce qu'on a eu beaucoup de feedback, direct et indirect. Et aujourd'hui, nous continuons toujours sur ces sujets de relations toxiques. Et je suis sur ces plateaux avec nos invités. Nous allons essayer de discuter des relations toxiques dans le couple, relations toxiques dans la famille. Alors, sans plus tarder, je vais introduire mes invités et je vais vous permettre de vous introduire vous-même. Je vais commencer à ma droite. Comment vous allez aujourd'hui?
Je vais très bien, merci Abigail.
Est-ce que vous pouvez vous introduire pour ces grands publics qui nous suivent?
Bien sûr, mon nom c'est Nikez Lola et je choisirais de dire la partie la plus importante de ma vie. Je suis un enfant de Dieu. Okay. Je pense que c'est ça qui est le plus important. Ouais.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Suivi de...
Merci, c'est Patrice. Je suis juriste de formation et puis époux et je sers l'Éternel. Voilà.
Merci beaucoup et je vais aller comme ça. Vous pouvez vous introduire?
I'm gonna be the English one.
Okay.
Je vais mix. C'est Andrea. Je suis enfant de Dieu. Je suis une femme, mother of 4 and the owner of Le Palmier Moya.
Le CEO des Palmiers Moya. Si vous voulez bien manger, hein, je vous encourage. Il faut déjà la contacter. Mais le connaît à goût fort. Suivi de...
Hi, my name is Sophia Lubongo. I'm a mom of 3 and a wife and a child of God.
And a business owner, which I will not get into detail. Alors, pour aujourd'hui, nous continuons sur ce sujet de relations toxiques. Nous allons encore insister que nous parlons de relations toxiques dans le couple, relations toxiques dans la famille. Avec nos invités, on a eu des questions et nous allons essayer de discuter autour de ces questions-là et nous allons essayer de dire quelqu'un qui se retrouve dans une relation toxique, qui pense ou encore qui est encore inconscient qu'il est dans une relation toxique. Alors, on va commencer le sujet du jour. Nous parlons de relations toxiques. Alors, moi, j'aimerais déjà commencer pour vous poser la question de savoir comment est-ce que vous définissez une relation toxique. Je vais commencer ici.
Merci beaucoup. Bon, moi, je pense que la relation toxique, c'est une relation dans laquelle l'un des partenaires se trouve en difficulté avec sa paix intérieure. C'est-à-dire que pendant un long moment, soit ça peut être une violence physique ou soit une violence morale. Et c'est à ce moment-là qu'on peut parler d'une relation toxique. Voilà un peu ce que moi je peux dire par rapport à la définition.
Ok. Maman Nikes?
Moi, je dirais plutôt une relation toxique. C'est une relation où la relation, en fait, devient comme un poison. C'est quelque chose qui vous tue à petit feu. Plus vous restez dans cette relation, c'est en train de tuer, soit la joie intérieure, comme il a dit, votre personne. Ça vous déforme, en fait, après. C'est un poison à petit feu.
Ok. Moi, Andrea, une relation toxique pour vous? What is it?
Me, I would say toxic relationship, I think they defined it. Just something that kills you, that kills anything that's supposed to make you better. It just becomes poisonous and just suffocates you and becomes, you know, a horrible thing.
Okay. Sophia.
To me, a toxic relationship is when your self-esteem is diminished at every aspect. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship per se. It can also be at work or anywhere. As long as your self-esteem is being diminished, to me it's toxic.
Okay, so those are good definitions. According to vos définitions, est-ce que vous pensez qu'une personne peut ne pas rester dans une relation toxique? Comment, Andrea?
So should someone stay in a toxic relationship? Okay. So me, I have an issue with that question, right? Because I think it's subjective. Okay. According to me, even though I defined it, according to me, according to my definition, then the person should not stay in a toxic relationship. But what relationship are you talking about? Because not every relationship deserves somebody leaving because it's toxic.
Okay.
So are we talking about marriage? Are we talking about boyfriend, girlfriend?
Separate them. Separate them. Talk about marriage and then try to talk about family. Okay,
so marriage. Whenever we do our vows, we say for better and for worse. Toxic is worse, right?
Okay.
Okay. So should a person stay in a marriage because the relationship is toxic? I believe you both should take time to work on it. But should you leave the marriage because it's toxic? No. Are we talking about abuse, physical abuse? Then if we go to that extreme, then we can directly say yes. But if we're talking about things that can be fixed, so what's the worst part in marriage?
Okay. So you're saying it depends.
Yes, it depends.
What toxic is.
There are levels to it, right?
Level
If somebody, if you got into a marriage with a broken person,
okay,
does that give you the right to leave them because now you've realized that they're broken?
But you should know before you get in that marriage whether the person is broken or not.
True, but do we always?
Not necessary.
Or if the person becomes broken, so you're gonna leave them right away because, ooh, they say toxic things to me, or can that person be redeemable? You know? So I don't think, I think that question is subjective, right? And it also depends on the question. Should you stay in a relationship? It depends.
Okay.
It really depends.
Je veux avoir votre avis.
Bon, moi personnellement, je dirais le partir ou rester dans une relation toxique dépend du degré, hein, de la gravité de ce que vous êtes en train de vivre dans votre couple. Vous voyez? Parce que vous allez voir que si vous comparez une personne qui est dans une relation où, par exemple, c'est juste une question de travailler son couple, vous voyez, et que vous ne vous comprenez pas par rapport à la communication, par rapport aux frustrations du début du mariage. Vous voyez? Et que parfois vous allez considérer que c'est toxique, mais ce n'est pas encore toxique. Mais ça va arriver toxique peut-être au point où vous travaillez et qu'il n'y a pas de solution entre les deux partenaires. C'est à ce niveau-là que nous pouvons peut-être parler d'une relation toxique. Mais partir ou rester, bon, je peux peut-être parler au niveau de la gravité avec la violence physique. Si vous arrivez au niveau de la violence physique, à ce niveau-là, il faut vraiment quitter. Parce que quelqu'un va mourir. Si quelqu'un meurt, ça ne sera pas une bonne chose. Il y a une famille qui est à vos côtés, qui a besoin de vous. Et voilà, donc vous pouvez faire votre vie ailleurs. Et donc c'est un peu ça.
Okay, thank you. And Sophia, too much comments. What do you have to say? Should the person stay or leave?
Well, to me, it depends. Like my mom said, let me pick back on what she said. Like when we do our vows, it's for better, for worse. And the Bible also says, "Let no man separate what God has put together." Just because somebody has said something toxic to me, toxic to them it might not be toxic, but to me it's toxic, right? That person doesn't know what toxic, like the definition of toxic means to me. It doesn't necessarily because I felt like I felt like violated, or this person is like what they're saying is toxic to me. Let me just leave instead of talk about it. To me, the key thing is communication. The first thing, you have to communicate what I want in this relationship, what you want in this relationship. To family, it's a little iffy because when we get to family, especially as a child, you don't know what you expect because God brought you into this family. You don't know what kind of family you are into. But to me, especially in relationship, it's communication. What am I looking for into this relationship? And my upbringing and that person's upbringing. We all came from different homes. The way I was brought up versus the way my husband was brought up is completely different. One thing he has done to me might be toxic to him. He might not think it's toxic to him. So expressing yourself and telling that person, hey, like Papa said, let's work on it together. Marriage is about work. If one person wants to work on something and the other person doesn't want to work on something, that's when we should end it. Because it's about two people. So if we're both willing to work on this relationship, then let's stay.
Okay,
let's
I
not
like
leave.
that. Mrs., what do you have to say? Should a person stay or leave a toxic relationship?
It's a hard go. Like for me,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, but there is no 50-50 for me. It's 100% leave. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Because pour moi, en fait, on appelle quelque chose de toxique, on a déjà travaillé dessus.
Okay.
We already did the work. Quand on parle de toxique, ça devient un poison. On te donne pas une bouffe empoisonnée, on te dit mange d'abord et puis on va voir. No, you're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. So leave. If it gets to that point, c'est toxique. On part pas de he made a mistake. On part pas, on a fait une erreur ou on est venu nous tous avec nos bagages, on doit travailler dessus. Non. On a déjà passé l'étape des bagages, on a passé l'étape de counseling. Là, quelqu'un est en train de mourir à petit feu. Part. Pourquoi on va rester dans cette...
Alors, let me ask you guys this question.
Okay.
Quand est-ce qu'une relation devient toxique?
When I keep bringing up what you're doing to me, that it's hurting me, it's killing me, and you clearly just close your ears. You're not even listening. You're not even minding what I'm telling you. Keep doing it over and over again. Well, I did it the first time, you didn't die, so what's the big deal now? That's when it becomes toxic.
Bon, et ça arrive souvent quand, par exemple, le partenaire attend beaucoup de vous, qu'il sait que lui, il doit faire pour vous. Oui. Si la personne a beaucoup plus des attentes par rapport à ce que vous, dans la relation, vous devez faire pour lui, c'est à ce niveau-là où ça devient très dangereux. Parce que les attentes appellent ce qu'on appelle souvent la haine. Vous attendez tellement de la personne et qu'une petite chose simplement, et directement, vous commencez à réagir. Oui. Mais si vous travaillez sur vous-même, vous allez voir que plus vous travaillez sur vous-même, vous aurez moins de temps à voir les défauts de l'autre. C'est peut-être ce que moi, je peux te dire.
Monique.
Ok. Je vais essayer de parler un peu sur ce que le frère vient de dire. Quand on parle de toxicité, c'est pas forcément quelque chose qui vient de vous. C'est quelque chose d'extérieur qui est en train de vous tuer, vous. Donc, je veux bien cette histoire de travail sur toi. Oui, tout le monde doit travailler sur soi. Mais quand on est dans une relation toxique, c'est quelque chose qui est en train d'empoisonner les gens. Et tant que cette chose n'est pas mise en dehors de la relation, on n'a pas de remède. Tu vois. Je rejoins ce que la sœur vient de dire tout à l'heure. Qu'est-ce qui rend une relation toxique? C'est quand on a déjà tout essayé, on a travaillé sur les remèdes et il n'y a pas d'issue. Et la chose qui nous empoisonne est toujours là. On n'a pas pu en sortir. Et souvent, dans des cas comme ça, c'est parce que quelqu'un ne veut pas travailler, en fait. Parce que dans toute relation, it takes two. If someone is not willing to work on it, why are you staying for?
Mais j'avais une question. Mais vous savez parfois que ça arrive les temps où vous croyez que c'est l'autre qui a la faute, ou c'est l'autre qui est toxique, mais parfois c'est vous-même qui êtes toxique.
Vous n'êtes pas conscient du fait que c'est vous.
Vous n'êtes pas conscient de votre niveau disons, de la gravité de ce que vous commettez envers l'autre.
Je dirais que dans cette situation, il faudrait faire attention parce que c'est le genre de démarche que souvent comme on dit en anglais, abusers use. Oh, c'est parce que tu m'as énervé que je t'ai tabassé, tu t'es retrouvé aux urgences. Non, il y a des choses qu'on ne défend pas. Non, peu importe ce que tu fais, your action cannot be justified of whatever the person did. No, it's still wrong. You understand?
No, but the action or the reaction.
Exactly.
So if I get on your nerves and you punch me, you punching me justifies because I got on your nerves?
No, that's what I'm saying. La démarche de you think that the other person is toxic, but you actually the toxic one. That's a action and reaction kind of. You're trying to justify it. Whatever you did, if it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't matter what the person did to push you there. You understand?
So you still have accountability. If a person pushes you to some extreme, so your reaction should not be justified based on what the person did for you to get to that level.
Yeah, because you're still responsible of what you do, regardless of what pushed you there. You understand what I mean?
Non, mais la personne, ce qu'il fait, ça peut aussi être la réaction à ce que vous faites.
But it doesn't make your reaction okay.
Compte.
You understand? It doesn't make your reaction okay.
But I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, right? With the reaction, because if I know what I know you, what I'm doing to you, I'm pushing it to the edge. Like I know I'm taking you, it's in the bad place. Why am I keep doing it?
No, that's manipulation. I'm not saying it's okay, but you pushing me there doesn't justify my reaction.
Well, if we do something, if I keep pushing you, one way or the other, you're going to react.
No, I'm not saying that you're not going to react, but I'm still responsible of how
your own action.
Yes.
Like the lovely thing that African love to put on women.
Yes.
That that's toxic, right?
Okay.
Because there's nothing that you can do that can push a man. There's nothing I can do. I don't care if that. There is nothing. There's nothing I can do. You have other options. You can go.
You can leave.
I don't know. Do something.
You don't have to.
There is nothing a woman can do that can push
a man
outside. You made the choice.
Disagree a little.
Okay. Why do you disagree?
Because there are some things you can clearly see, like this wife, she's not okay. If, especially like to me, if I'm disrespecting my husband in public, constantly keep disrespecting my husband in public, right? To me, cheating is not always like, okay, because you did this, I went out to cheat on you. Like, that's the first thing. To me, it's maybe sometimes it's like, because I'm not getting the respect that I deserve, they probably talk to you, because men don't really talk like women. We express our mind. Like when we have issues, we can go from 0 to 100 real fast. Men don't necessarily do that. So me disrespecting my husband in front of people, or me doing things that are like playing with his ego, he can go out, not necessarily to cheat, find somebody, right? You start talking to
them.
No, not, it can be a friend. I start talking to this friend. I start talking to this friend.
She is really disagreeing with
you keep giving the ear to this person. You start.
I see what she's trying to say. She's saying like the man goes out not necessarily
to cheat.
Not necessarily to cheat.
I'm sorry, we're justifying this. He made the choice. He made the your wife at home is not acting the way that you would like for her to act. As her leader, okay? You are choosing not to lead your wife, and you're deciding to go on and find another flock to lead. That's crazy. So you've abandoned your post, Adam, and left. Now the snake comes and speaks to Eve. And now look at what's going on in this world. No, there is nothing a woman can do. You made the choice. I understand that it can be frustrating, but there are other options. There is A, B, C, and D.
What if it's
so let's try to look at this in a family environment. Let's try to stop looking at this in a couple environment. Let's try to see it in a family environment. So if a parent, like parents usually say, if they hit a child, it's because the child did something. So what about those parents who, let's say, abuse their kids, not physically, but let's say mentally? So is it because the kid kind of did something to push the parent to make them in that situation?
Absolutely not. Right, that's what I was going to say regarding to whatever he said about you expecting so much from somebody. As a child, how do you expect so much from your parents?
You do.
You do.
You do.
No, I'm saying, like, how do you have such a high, you was talking about you have so much expectation from somebody else, and when you start getting disappointed, that's when it becomes toxic, right?
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
That's what I disagree with. As a parent.
No, I agree with that.
Because dans le cadre du couple, ça cadre.
In a family, I disagree with that, because as a child, all you know is your parent. You can't expect way too much. What you expect is good enough, because these are the people that
No, but you expect a lot.
You do.
Right? My son, when he wakes up in the morning, he expects for milk to be in the fridge. Right? He expects that.
Right.
And if I tell him there's no milk, how?
So
Why
now
didn't you
that
buy
becomes
milk?
toxic.
No, it's not toxic, but it's an your kids have your kids expect them to love you.
Yes.
They expect that. So if you don't love your child, that's toxic.
No, you still love it. I don't know if he was saying about work on yourself first, right?
Yeah.
If you have if you believe in yourself.
I guess what he said is you having too much expectations
from others.
and the other person cannot meet those expectations, that can create toxicity in the relationship. I disagree.
That's
with
what
that.
I was disagreeing.
Yeah,
as
me
well.
too. I
Dans le
disagree with
cadre
that.
d'une relation,
In couple.
c'est
In
compréhensible.
Try to explain it dans une famille.
Exactly.
Non, moi j'étais plus dans le cadre d'une relation entre
une relation amoureuse.
les époux, une relation amoureuse.
But how do you expect too much from your spouse?
Non, there's people. Ils expectent beaucoup de vous, et puis quand vous ne faites rien du tout, soit vous... par exemple, j'entends que vous faites ça le matin, les soirs, à midi, à 12h, et vous ne faites rien du tout. Et je commence à devenir un peu comme... trouver l'insatisfaction dans ce que vous faites. Vous voyez. Et ça va commencer à créer, comme on dit, de la haine au sein de la personne. Et à chaque fois que vous faites quelque chose, directement, il vous dit non, mais tu n'as pas fait ça, tu n'as pas fait ça, tu n'as pas fait ça. Et plus il y a des disputes, plus ça va commencer à déranger la personne. Et parfois, vous pensez que c'est la personne qui ne fait rien du tout qui est toxique, mais c'est vous-même qui êtes toxique parce que vous attendez beaucoup. Ouais. Au lieu d'attendre beaucoup de la personne, il faut aussi construire personnellement pour voir les bons côtés dans la personne. Pas simplement les mauvais côtés où c'est que lui ne fait pas pour vous. Vous voyez un peu, je ne sais pas si vous me comprenez.
I still disagree with that. I'm sorry. I still disagree with that because for me, I don't see toxicity, yes, in that because that's just a lack of communication.
Thank you.
No, I think it becomes toxic to the extreme.
What is the
ça
extreme?
devient...
What is the extreme to the point of being toxic when I'm expecting things to you and you're not giving it to me?
You know, I feel like you're trying to say, like, when you're, let's put in a case where it's the female expecting more from the man, and then the man is not doing it, and then the wife start not nagging. So the more she nags, the more it gets to the nerves of the husband, and then it kind of creates like other things. But maybe the guy doesn't know. Il ne sait pas en réalité qu'est-ce que la femme attend de lui.
En fait, c'est une manière de dire que the woman's complaints become toxic. Is that what you're trying to say?
To who?
To the man
or to the man?
To the man.
So that in that case, you get to leave.
No,
I mean, I can.
I want to hear from you.
You too. You stay
quiet.
When you said that. I understand that because even the Bible says that it's better to sleep on the top of the roof than in the same house that a nagging wife.
Yeah.
So if the Bible mentioned that, that's toxic. So if you're saying that, then I understand what you're saying. But that's not necessarily having high expectation on somebody and not meeting. It's you guys not communicating. She keeps nagging because you don't do.
Comment sortir ou comment ne pas sortir. Mais maintenant, pour comprendre les contextes, c'est que si vous avez plus des attentes dans la relation par rapport à l'autre, ça peut créer ce qu'on appelle les toxiques dans l'autre personne. Mais parfois, vous pensez que c'est cette personne-là qui est toxique, mais c'est vous-même qui êtes toxique.
For having too many expectations.
Yeah, too many expectations.
I mean, we have to disagree, agree to disagree, because
I
it's
don't
shaky
agree with
there.
that because
If you're talking about nagging, I understand.
So I think what he's,
expectations,
if I'm getting it, he's saying, let's say you and I are in a relationship, and I expect for you to always listen to me. I expect for you to always do this for me. And then because I want to meet your expectation, and it's frustrating because I can't meet it, I become somebody that I'm not. So I start doing toxic things like kokatelo mangala, je deviens méchant, I don't pay attention to you, I become rude. And because you've caused me to become somebody I'm not, because of your constant demand, and I'm not meeting your expectations. I think that's what he's saying.
I understand what you're saying, but my disagreement comes to the fact that I don't agree with that, because in that example, it's not your expectations that makes this relationship toxic. It's the fact that I cannot meet your expectation and I choose.
But what if your expectations are too high?
Then say so and find another way.
Exactly.
Because if I don't say so, I choose to become this toxic person, it's still my choice. Although your nagging made me go there. You understand what I mean? So the nagging is not the problem. It's you making a decision to not choose what is appropriate to the nagging. And you become someone else. Or you can ask for counseling, or you can simply say, ma'am, I'm not your guy.
Because but some people are not.
I'm
not
confrontational.
Mais si la personne,
what do you mean confrontational? Communication is not about confrontation.
They're trying to avoid.
It's not about avoiding.
Then they have a lack of communication skills. Get some. No. Because every relationship, no, for real.
I used to think like that because I'm very in your face type of person. But not everybody can handle in your face. Some people don't even want to go through that. So they just shut down for the peace. Let me just shut down and let her have
it. Many people use that as an example.
Why are you shutting down? You can write a letter.
Right.
You can send an email.
I mean,
so what she's saying, it's like beaucoup de gens tolèrent de relations toxiques to avoid conflict.
Yes.
No, that's not a good way of thinking.
I'm not agreeing with it, but it's true.
It is true.
Now,
c'est pas la solution.
That's not this. Why are we shutting down? We should communicate.
Yes.
If you can communicate the two of us, at least find somebody else.
That
can I change my way of approaching them?
That too, it's a solution. But still, that person needs to work on their skills of communication.
And you guys need to work on your skills together.
Yeah.
First of all, if I am going to get into a relationship with a person that shuts down,
where are we going, sir?
Because we're day and night.
Yeah.
We're not. We have to agree somehow, us to get into a relationship. Especially if we're gonna get married. Come on.
Thank you.
You can agree to disagree. That's also a thing.
We need to get into on the same level. Not necessary, like not me always being in your face and you shutting down. You might shut down now and then come back to this situation later.
Somehow find a way to communicate.
Or me stop being in your face and me trying to find a way. When until time to sleep, so on and then more malembe.
No, that doesn't work.
Are you gonna make me not sleep?
That doesn't work.
We can try that too. We can try different ways of communicating. Like, find a place where it can be somebody who's calm, stable. We can talk about it.
Tu sais, il y a certaines personnes où on peut causer la calme et puis parler. On a, like she said, it doesn't work. Parce que non, c'est pas les moments de parler de ça en tout cas.
That's what I'm saying. Bring it up later. Not now. Later on. Can we bring it up later?
But I agree with that because some people, they just don't want to. That's why the word exists, toxic, because they don't want to fix it.
Ouais.
Literally. They don't want to fix it. And at that level, for me, you can stay, but you should leave. That's
find a way. Find different ways. Yeah. Backup plans. That I don't know how, but find a way to get out somehow.
So when it comes to marriage, when somebody is toxic in that form, that's ground for divorce?
No, that's not ground for divorce.
I'm sorry, I'm going to shock you, but it's ground for divorce.
Oh,
he beats you up and you wake up at the ER.
Oh, no, not abuse. We're not talking about abuse.
But it's toxic, though. You know that abuse, it's toxic,
yeah,
right?
it is toxic. No, it's just an extreme.
That's extreme. That's, we all agree.
But you know, that's the thing. We're trying to mix everything together. There is other things and there is toxic.
Right.
Toxic is the extreme. Yeah. That's what it is. There is no, oh, this is good, but you're calling it toxic. No, you don't know what toxic is.
But you'll be shocked. What may be toxic for you,
it might not be toxic for the other.
The thing with that is, we acting like there is no bottom of line. Yes, everybody has their own opinion and own background, but there is one universal truth. What is toxic is poison. You're about to die. Right. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Don't be misinterpret, oh, he talked to me this way and then it's toxic. No, you don't know what it is, toxic, because that's not toxic. But if you're about to die, something is dying
if your life is in danger,
why are we trying to...
So let's use that definition. Let's go to family.
Right.
Right.
Your mom situation, right? Or not your mom, but a mom situation tells their child, insults their child or calls them name. By definition, you guys called it toxic.
Right.
So the child is about to die. The child needs to leave their mother.
Yes.
Well,
I know we're African.
We said why?
Not why? Because
he said why?
Because the life of the child is in danger. I'm sorry, as an African, I know this is a if like you said, situation. Situation. I understand because my background is African, but I'm not saying that because I live in the US. Even since I'm Africa, I was saying that to my family. We tolerate a lot of toxic relationship in Africa. Family relationship in the name of culture.
Okay, so
that's
where
wrong.
does the child
It doesn't matter
go?
who you are. It's
so
wrong.
What remedy?
No remedy. But I'm kind of...
My question is, where does the child go?
Yeah, or could it be that the mother is broken and needs
help?
Then she needs to get help before the child dies.
Well, how does she doesn't realize she's toxic.
No, somebody needs to tell her, this is why we do
this. The child doesn't know better. The child knows how they grew up. All they know is, my mom brings me down, brings me down.
It's not because you're ignorant of something killing you that is not killing you. It's killing you.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't matter if you know it or not. It's killing you. That's why we have those grown people.
A child will just say, right? To them, it started not to bother them anymore. I mean, pretend like it doesn't bother you anymore.
Parfois, l'enfant peut se sentir très à l'aise dans la relation, disons dans la famille. Oui. Pourtant, il ne reconnaît pas au fond de lui que ce que les parents sont en train de lui faire, ça lui tue à petit feu, disons. Est-ce que nous allons dire que ça c'est toxique ou ce n'est pas toxique?
It's still toxic.
Parce que nous sommes toxiques au moment où la personne est en train de perdre, disons, sa paix intérieure.
Il y a des enfants qui n'ont pas de paix intérieure.
Mais si l'enfant est à l'aise dans la maison, l'enfant ne sent rien du tout de mal et puis il trouve que non, bon, c'est pas qu'il va parler.
Qu'est-ce qui vous montre en fait qu'il est à l'aise en fait?
Mais s'il ne réagit pas, il n'y a pas quelque chose de...
C'est pas parce que quelqu'un n'a pas réagi qu'il est à l'aise.
Mais qu'est-ce qui vous montre qu'il n'est pas
à l'aise?
Qu'est-ce qui montre aussi qu'il n'est pas à l'aise ou que c'est toxique?
Je prends mon propre exemple.
Comment il réagit?
Je veux prendre let me make it personal. J'ai grandi dans une maison où j'ai vécu des relations toxiques en famille. Et j'étais un enfant. Et c'était pas comme ici, on pouvait sortir.
Yes.
Tu sais ce qui s'est passé? I became like this. J'ai perdu du poids. Et je riais plus. Mon petit frère ne parlait plus. bon, nous, on se dit que l'enfant doit parler. On est des enfants, je comprends. Mais as an adult, you can tell when a child is not okay.
Yes.
He doesn't have to tell you because he doesn't know how to
So in that situation, the child can't really leave. So the bit of take an African point.
It's just
So the remedy should not be for l'enfant de partir. Alors, le remède, peut-être, je ne sais pas si vous allez disagree with this, peut-être for the person who's making that environment toxic for the kid,
To leave?
to try to switch, no, not to leave, but to switch.
Your mom is not leaving.
She's there. She's not going nowhere.
Moi, je ne conseille pas à l'enfant de partir.
Oh oui. Mais
Let's
du moins,
see.
vous pouvez conseiller.
Let me give an example. Like, Ovandana Maratra now. So should you leave?
I left.
But where do you go?
Wait.
If you don't have anywhere to go, where do you go?
No,
I
will make it very personal today.
We have a, but you don't have any place to go. Because of they have toxic
exactement.
And then they now, not every family will take
mon propre
you.
exemple. Je vais parler de mon propre exemple. Mes oncles étaient là, mais mes oncles n'avaient pas le droit, neither the, how you call it, l'autorité sur nous. Donc personne ne pouvait venir nous prendre ou venir nous chercher. Although ils voyaient ce qui se passait, ils pouvaient pas nous aider because all that was
In
there.
that situation.
You know, et effectivement, j'ai contemplé plusieurs fois le suicide, la fugue, tout ça. J'ai contemplé. Moi, je dirais, dans mon cas, j'ai eu la grâce que ma mère était chrétienne. Et moi, j'ai reçu Dieu pendant que j'étais petite. I prayed. Et un jour, miraculeusement, my dad said yes for my mom to come take us.
So
Non, ça, c'est juste un exemple. Yeah. Parce que c'est à cause de ça que les enfants sortent. Ils sont dans la situation.
So how are they gonna leave? In that situation,
C'est là où je reviens sur la question. Can someone leave an abusive relationship or stay? Yes, they can stay, but they should leave. If they have the ability to leave, they should. If they don't have the ability to leave, then God needs to intervene.
You don't think they shouldn't talk? They should not talk about it first before leaving?
Oh, they should talk about it. Usually, like I said, when it gets too toxic, they pass the level of talking.
Because let's be real, if in an African family, I don't even remember when I saw my mom down to talk to her, right? So, can we sit our parent down and talk to them? You think they're going to listen? No.
No, it depends.
It depends. It will take time, but it's getting in.
It depends. We have to understand that it's a generation clash. That's one thing, something we forget, right? It's a generation clash. Me, it took me years to sit down and be like, my mom is like this because she was, that's what she saw.
What she went through.
As an adult, there are certain things that you have to unlearn. So that's why I'm like, we can't really, you can't take a child out because a child is connected to their mother. Sometimes taking them away can do also
more damage,
harm, right?
I'm laughing because I disagree.
More damage than good.
I'm sorry because here in the United States, people take children
But can we
out.
also say that hurt people?
That's true, but it doesn't justify.
Because all I know is hurting.
Yes,
I've been hurt, so now
I'm hurting.
No, I'm not condoning the child to stay, but I'm saying there are other approaches to take before reaching that extreme.
Of leaving.
Again, when we talk about toxic, we're already in the extreme realm.
Extreme, that's for
Everything was
That's
reached.
why I feel like the definition. In the definition, everybody defines toxic differently.
Differently.
In different relationships.
Still, there is one definition.
Relation toxique dépend d'une personne à une autre.
Ça aussi, I disagree.
Oh.
No, I disagree. We use it as defense. I can say, oh no, for me that's not it. I can break your arm. That's just me letting you know you bothered me, but it's not violence. Bébé, it's violence.
C'est que l'aime est différent de ce que vous
Aha, you see?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I don't want you. You broke. No, it doesn't matter.
Non, ça c'est wrong.
Yes.
Non, pas pour bêta, pas pour bêta.
Ça ne dépend pas d'une manière ou d'une autre.
Non, là c'est grave.
Non, certaines personnes vont te dire que ce n'est pas violent. Yeah, if I don't know, she likes it rough. Yeah, she likes it rough. But it doesn't matter. It's still violence. Ça dépend pas d'une personne à une autre.
Parce que elle aime la violence.
Non, même si elle aime ça, it's still violence.
Okay,
it's still violence, but it's toxic for her though.
No. When we talk about violence,
c'est la violence.
No. What about those female ou le gens qui aiment Babé Tabambo?
Let's not get
Tibia.
Something happened. They went through something, and they feel like
so they're broken,
what they
right?
deserve. Yeah. So that's not.
That's not toxic.
Yeah.
That's a broken person needs help.
No, that's toxic.
It is.
It is toxic.
That's
a broken help.
It is toxic.
Needs
That's
help.
the problem I have.
Because a woman that's okay with you beating her because that's your way of showing love means something in her is broken.
Ça dépend d'une société à une autre.
See?
That's
Société
true.
moderne,
Maybe she
elle est
read
plus
about
douce.
she grew up.
Seeing her
It doesn't
there.
make it
Quelqu'un
nice.
qui vit en Afrique, celui qui est en Afrique, c'est qu'on peut appeler toxique dans la société moderne est différent.
not
Mais en
toxic.
Afrique, if we're real, en Afrique, a lot of things that we do are toxic.
Yes.
But according to who?
According to
Yes.
According to
According
the
to
word,
American
even
life, to the
life,
universal,
just
according to American.
Yeah.
Non, non, bah, human
Like
being.
what?
Parce que ici en Amérique, on ne frappe pas les femmes, c'est vrai. On les
Mais
frappe
partout,
pas.
partout, you shouldn't.
Non, c'est pas partout au monde.
Oh, wow.
Partout,
C'est pas
papa.
partout au monde.
Kobeta is ma bae.
En Afrique, vous les connaissez très bien. On vous frappe et puis vous êtes à l'aise. La femme dit bon,
Non.
non,
Non,
Non.
ça
We say that.
Non, ça dépend.
Non.
So mutaza laisse baler la tête.
Il y a pas de
Parce que
solution.
nous sommes en mobile,
C'est
c'est
moi,
moi.
Oleli siko kwa ni soko
It's not
yango.
normal. It's not normal.
Oleli kwa ni soko
That's
se
my
la
point.
beta.
It's not normal.
Moi, j'ai une fille.
No.
It's still violence.
And
I'm
not
Nelly
even
Solo.
comfortable hitting her anymore. Elle a 8 ans. I
Right,
feel
man.
uncomfortable even. Now I want to talk to her. I'm not your child. Why are you hitting me? Tu veux me discipliner, moi, ta femme? Non.
On peut pas te discipliner comme je crois elle avait dit les femmes elles peuvent parler mais les hommes vont
Non, les hommes doivent parler. Non.
les hommes doivent parler.
Non, les femmes.
Les
doivent.
femmes
Non,
parlent.
c'est ça que je dis, les femmes parlent, mais les hommes, babeta abasi na bango.
Non,
That's toxic then.
I disagree.
A real
Yes,
Should
don't
not
do
raise
that.
your hand.
Et moi, je me dis en fait qu'on le fait souvent, on
Mais oui,
généralise
non.
la chose. Tous les hommes font, c'est pas vrai.
Yeah, c'est
Non,
pas
non,
vrai.
C'est pas vrai. Les
Non,
hommes
c'est
violents
pas
le
vrai,
font.
c'est
Les
Yeah,
hommes normaux le
violent
font pas.
men.
Pas du tout les hommes.
Non.
Ben la bête d'Aragnon,
c'est
c'est
pas
pas
vrai.
mal éduqué.
Oui.
You can take it to that point.
Non, c'est pas vrai. Oh non, parce que les hommes ne parlent
Même
pas
si
donc
la
ils
femme
frappent. C'est
aime,
faux.
that's not normal.
C'est
There's
faux.
something in her.
The way you
That's
grew up
wrong.
was wrong. Pona you to the
Yeah.
point of and obey tamasino
Non, c'est
all
faux.
the time. Atamasa ngalingaka. You have to re-educate that
No.
woman. Kobeta is not something we do.
Yeah, no,
We
it's
talk about it.
not. En Afrique,
But
en
can we
Amérique,
also-
en Asie.
But kobeta, there's also not just violence kobeta. There's also words.
Yeah.
Maloba pe
Mangala.
bebeta. Etikalo. No, dude. Let's be real.
Moral, yeah, emotional.
Etikalo na forever. There are things que mabandoye bisato ngazamo amuke. It hurt you so much to the point that now, even if a person randomly just brings up something and brings that inner child because malobawana they beat out telma ezozongelaka all the time.
I know.
In that situation,
Toxic.
very toxic. But that person might not know what they're doing is being toxic to you.
No,
But it doesn't
the other
make it
person
less
doesn't
toxic
know.
though.
C'est là où elle n'est pas d'accord.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
make
doesn't-
it less toxic.
No, if I didn't
I'm just saying.
communicate,
It doesn't make it less
If I
toxic
didn't
because you
communicate
know
to
what
you-
you're doing. It's still toxic.
if I didn't communicate to you like what this is
you
like,
gonna
if you
know?
do this,
I know.
well, how am I gonna
So,
know that's
so
toxic?
technically, I'm hearing like remède ya makasi
Communication.
so far is that communication.
Oui.
Yes, the
La
biggest.
communication.
La communication.
La communication.
So vous pensez que ce qui est communication, il y a des remèdes. Donc communication, c'est la seule chose qui peut avoid having or being in a toxic relationship.
Non, c'est pas la seule.
Non,
Non,
c'est
non,
la
c'est pas la
première
seule
étape,
chose.
mais
The
c'est pas la
first
seule
step.
étape. C'est la première étape.
Parce que parfois, vous ne
Communique.
vous comprenez pas.
Yeah. Si tu communiques, il comprend toujours pas, appelle une tierce personne qui est sage. Il comprend pas.
So in like your parent situation, so to be touching like in family situation, you talk to
You can
them.
talk to your pastor.
You talk to
The
them, they
pastor.
don't listen.
you can
Talk to
your
the pastor,
Yeah.
and they still don't listen.
If they're Christian, you bring
You're
the
gonna
pastor.
listen.
If they're not,
If they're not Christian, then
And
what
if you're
you
of age, you're talking to your
Your
parents.
parents, yes.
And you feel like it's a toxic thing, then leave.
yeah.
Because you're at a point where now you can make your own decisions. You realize that it's right and wrong. You're under their roof. And if you're under their roof, their rule is how they are and they're refusing to change, take yourself out of the situation.
What if you don't have the capacity of leaving?
Well,
Let's say financial.
But do you know that
situation,
let's
like you don't have
compare
enough money.
life here in America and then in Congo
Yeah.
or in Africa. I feel like here, les parents, ils mettent les enfants dans un environnement où, par exemple, les enfants, they can have
Conversation.
No, family, let's say family, what do you call it? I don't remember the name. Concertation where there is no repercussion. Where the kids get to say what they think the parent is doing is wrong, or how they feel, or what they wouldn't want the parents to do to them. Which is totally différent de l'Afrique, parce que jamais, je sais pas, à moins que vous venez, je sais pas, de what side de l'Afrique, où un enfant vend sa parent, na ito maman na pas c'est maman, et au salaka A, B, C, en tout cas, il faut arrêter de faire ça, alors il faut faire ça.
Non, il y a des familles.
Même si, moi, je parlais de la mienne.
Il y a des familles comme ça.
Moi, je parlais de la mienne.
Mais alors, c'est que c'est quelque chose, on doit acknowledge that a lot of people, beaucoup de gens, quand on a l'habitude, on a kozala kana ba moment, on a parents, avant na banana bango, pour ba solo là bas échanger pour que les enfants ba ebisa bango, oh bazo sala bien non parce que ces enfants là at the end of the day bazo kola na ba toxication na mutu na bango when they grow up they start kola ki sa ba habitude toxique wana ya
comment vous répondre pas épouse na ba
voilà
ça c'est vrai. I agree. Oui.
But you know the first thing we have to realize also is that what you just said is giving grace to the parents.
Yes.
They don't know that.
But
it's something that they have to learn. They're unlearning a behavior,
that
right?
they've known all their lives.
So you have to give them grace. On prie, non? On est des chrétiens. So if you are praying and you say, man, after prayer, j'ai réalisé que ma mère, oh my God, elle est comme ça. Mais tu pries, right? Give her grace.
Can we also look at our parents as people? Not just your parents.
Me, I would say I learned it as I was praying, because when I started praying for my family, God has to break it down to me, as Andrea is saying right there. But the problem is, I will go back to what you just said. Even after the slap, the message already crossed.
But can we also see them as
parents? It takes time,
though?
but you still communicate. You're patient with them, but you still communicate to them what's wrong. They might beat you the first day, maybe the 10th time, but the 11th time they will think about it, because you said it so many times, you know.
We, as African, the parents are wrong. I agree with, like, the parents are toxic. Some parents are toxic, but we also don't give our parents enough grace. Like Mama Andrea said, we don't give them grace. We don't see them as people, right? We, like I said, we expect so much of our parents. When we start seeing them as people as well, get to learn. Sit them down, get to learn what made them the way they are. What is it? Because no, nobody.
That can help you with patience, but it's definitely not going to help you.
Okay, bon, nous sommes en train d'arriver à la fin. C'est tellement bien ce que nous sommes en train de dire. Okay. Nous sommes en train d'arriver à la fin, mais j'aimerais que tout un chacun de nous puisse dire un mot par rapport aux relations toxiques, couple, famille, relationship. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez conseiller à une personne qui nous a suivis? Nous avons fait premier épisode, deuxième aujourd'hui. Je crois que ça sera le dernier que nous allons faire sur ces sujets toxiques. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez dire à cette personne-là? Restez, ne pas rester, parlez-en, ne pas en parler, remède par rapport aux relations toxiques. Je vais commencer avec Papa Patrick. 2 minutes.
Moi, je pense que la première des choses, il serait de communiquer, comme on l'a dit ici. Communiquer, si dans le cadre d'un couple ou dans le cadre des parents, c'est un peu de parler. Bon, je sais qu'avec les parents africains, c'est un peu compliqué, la communication entre les parents et les enfants. Mais il faut essayer de communiquer et de parler. Et à part ça, si vous voyez que la communication, ça ne marche pas, et je trouvais par exemple un pasteur ou une tierce personne qui peut vous aider. S'il y a un parrain ou bien un homme de Dieu qui va vous aider à résoudre ce problème. Mais si l'homme de Dieu et la communication, tout ça ne marche pas et que ça arrive au niveau de la violence, là, il faut partir. Il faut partir parce que vous risquez de mourir, vous voyez, à cause du mariage, et puis vous laissez, disons, la terre. Voilà.
Et par rapport à la famille?
Par rapport à la famille, je ne conseille pas à un enfant de partir. Parce qu'il n'y a pas une solution qui est mieux que de rester dans la famille. Vous pouvez partir, mais ça va être encore plus pire que d'être dans la famille. Ouais, parce que l'éducation familiale, c'est une autre chose. C'est une autre question que vous n'aurez nulle part. Même si vous partez, on a vu beaucoup d'enfants, ils disent, bon, moi aujourd'hui, je quitte mes parents, je pars à Komichege. Et puis, à Keko Beba, et ça va le suivre toute sa vie. Moyen récupérant aussi sous Ezate. Quelqu'un qui sort, par exemple, à l'âge de 15 ans, à Biminanda, parce qu'à la maison, c'était toxique. Et à Komikuna, et puis avec des femmes et tout, par-ci, par-là. Et sa propre vie, à ce même matin, t'es en côté. Oui, là, c'est très compliqué. Mais moi, je pense dans le cadre de la famille, il faut rester, mais peut-être chercher des parents, vos parents, vous voyez, ou soit les oncles, des gens comme ça, qui peuvent voir, ou soit aller même rester chez un oncle ou chez un cousin, qui peut vous aider à surmonter. Mais pas partir pour dire, bon, toute la famille, moi et vous, c'est fini. Non, ça, ce n'est pas bon.
Mais qu'est-ce que vous pouvez dire aux parents qui créent des environnements toxiques pour leurs enfants?
Bon, aux parents qui créent des environnements toxiques, moi, je peux dire que l'amour surmonte tout. Ouais. Nous aimons nos enfants. Alors, dans cet amour-là, il ne faut pas utiliser les méthodes ou les moyens qui ne prouvent pas de l'amour envers les gens que nous aimons. Donc, c'est un peu ça.
Merci beaucoup, Papa Patrick. Beaucoup de commentaires venant de Maman Sophia. What do you have to say?
To me, first you have to pray about it.
Okay.
Pray about it. Let God guide you in which way you can take it, and then communicate. But first and foremost, pray about it. It will give you wisdom how, even with your parent, it will give you wisdom how you can talk to them about it. And to those parents, please talk to your kids. Make the kids, not necessarily your friends, but make an environment where it's like, your kids are not scared of you, especially as African parents.
Right.
We think our parents are high, they're like gods. I don't know where they got it from. They always think they're like so high of I don't think it's so in the Bible. I've never seen it in the Bible where it says. They always think my parents were number one in school, they were the smartest, all that. So they put this expectation about it. They're like so up there. Okay? They make it so difficult for their kids. So can we learn about making an environment which is like very friendly with the kids as well. Okay, that my son will not be afraid to come and talk to me about something instead of my son like going outside and talk to somebody else. Let's change the way. In a couple, pray about it.
That's it.
If you pray about it, you communicate, and that person don't listen, your life is in danger, please leave. You ain't trying to die for nobody. You're not Jesus. Yeah. Remember that.
Andrea.
I would say in a couple, of course, communication is important, and prayer, yes, but also take a step back and try to figure out what's going on. Okay. Now, whenever I'm speaking like this, because I feel Nikez's eyes over here.
I'm ready to attack all of us.
Whenever I'm speaking like this,
she's like, I disagree.
Everybody.
It's everybody.
All of us.
Whenever I'm speaking like this, I do not have physical abuse. Okay, I know you said whenever it comes to toxic, it gets to that point, but don't really think that way. So I think really in a couple, before you think about leaving and all that stuff, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Try to, get emotions out of the way. It hurts. It's not easy. Sure. But try to evaluate what's causing, what came in. Because at one point, that person was somebody you loved, right? That you fell in love with. So figure it out and see. And of course, if it gets to an extreme, take extreme measures and leave. Okay? When it comes to family, I do believe in cutting family off. I do.
She's the type of person. She will block you. Yes, what are your family and I'll block you.
I agree with that.
I do believe in cutting family. Boundaries goes for everybody. I do believe in that. But you have to have peace in doing it. Don't just do it because it's your feelings. I'm going to cut you off. No, have peace in it, which comes in prayer, right? Prayer doesn't exclude everybody. If God shows you somebody in your family that's causing you to lose your peace, then cut them off. Don't hate them, cut them off.
Separation is biblical.
Yes, you can lovingly. I can show you how I can love you and cut you off.
It happens.
How you gonna love them and cut them off?
I can love you from afar. I don't have to love you near me.
Ma'am, you are cut off.
Trying to start another.
I can love you from afar.
When it comes to parents, I've strongly understood giving your parents grace. Just giving them grace. There's a reason why your parents are acting that way. That's what they knew. Yeah. And that's what they're passing on. As a parent now, I get it, right? I get it. I get certain things. Now, and the parents, on their behalf, I would say, sit down and learn. It's okay to be 60, 50, 70. You can still learn. And you can unlearn certain things. It's hard.
Do you think a kid can re-educate a parent?
Yes.
Yes.
Bisa mo ba
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Give them grace. See, whenever we go with the thing, ça déjà mon colo, ma maman est toujours comme ça, you can eat it. No, give them grace. They can, trust me, they can learn.
Yeah.
They can learn.
See
If they
them
learn a
as-
new language, they can learn.
that is true.
Yeah, they can learn. They can learn.
See them as people.
Okay. Monikis, I know you disagree with
Most of us.
you disagree with
That's
pretty
not
much
fair.
all of us.
I agree with some things.
Some stuff.
I disagree with some things. So, yeah, what I can say is just to not be too long. I agree with prayer. What I can add on that, I would say we need to always remember that God gave us the freedom to choose, and God gave us the power to take care of ourselves. It's your responsibility to be safe. Okay, so that's for the person that being in a toxic relationship. Of course, you still have the choice. You can stay or leave. But I will advise you, if it gets too toxic, for me it's extreme, you have the responsibility to keep yourself safe, which is leave. That's for me. When it comes to parents, I would say just be humble enough to see what's going on in your house, really. Because sometimes we want to stick to one way and we don't really see the consequences of that one way. So if you can just be humble enough to see what you're doing wrong or what is happening in your house, you can be willing enough to find solution to remedy the situation. I will add for parents, because last time when I was watching the show, one person said that some have kids in the toxic relationship. When they call them for help, they say, no, the marriage is not for kids. You're mature enough. You need to work it out. Non, ça, moi, j'appelle ça en français non-assistance à la personne en danger. Je suis désolée. Parce qu'on en a vu beaucoup qui ont
mais il y a
pris
aussi d'autres
ça.
personnes, ça devient comme l'habitude. À
Non.
chaque fois qu'il y a un petit problème,
Encore une fois, je
tu
parle
appelles ta
de
mère,
extrême.
ta maman.
Ce qui est toxique, c'est extrême. Si elle arrive à un endroit extrême, elle t'appelle pour de l'aide, non-assistance à la personne en danger. Donc, tu es responsable de ce qui va l'arriver. So we need to stop hiding behind culture to do nonsense. This is just crazy because many people died because of it. Yeah. Found the solution. Take them out first, assist them first, and then you work on whatever it is. But don't let them there, and many died in those situations. But just to close, that's what I will add. Pray. Remember, you're responsible to keep yourself safe. You have the choice. God gave you the power to choose. And it's your responsibility to keep people safe in your house. That's all I'm going to say about it.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm glad with all your inputs in this conversation 2.0. Moi, j'aime dire conversation 2.0. Mais malheureusement, mais c'est le producteur Alimina Lobakar à conversation 2.0. Alors, merci au ce grand public qui nous a suivis du début jusqu'à la fin. J'espère que vous avez aimé cette conversation. J'espère que quelqu'un a pu prendre quelque chose de cette conversation. Moi, je l'avais dit avant, je répète encore, relation toxique dépend d'une personne à une autre. Mais aujourd'hui, ma sœur Nikes m'a appris que toxique, c'est toxique. Ça ne peut pas dépendre d'une personne à une autre. Donc, toxique est universel. Donc, si vous vous retrouvez dans une relation toxique, alors ils ont donné, ils ont donné des remèdes. Priez, comme a dit la sœur Sophia. Ta santé, c'est ta responsabilité, comme a dit maman Nikki. Alors, cherchez des solutions, comme a dit maman Andrea. Parlez-en, surtout quand il s'agit des familles. Give grace to your parents. Essayez de leur comprendre. Alors, comme a dit papa Patrick, vous pouvez toujours trouver un moyen de comment arranger cela. Alors, j'espère que vous avez aimé. Nous sommes arrivés à la fin. Mais si vous avez des commentaires, des questions, n'hésitez pas de nous envoyer vos questions, vos commentaires. Aimez, partagez. Je suis sûre que quelqu'un d'autre va trouver cette conversation très importante pour eux. Et j'espère que quelqu'un qui se retrouve dans une relation toxique va profiter de quelque chose. Mais s'il vous plaît, si vous vous retrouvez dans une relation toxique extreme, comme a dit maman Nikes, extreme, maman Andrea, je t'ai appelé 911. Donc, n'attendez pas que cela puisse arriver à la fin.
Let's not do that.
Non, mais il faut appeler 911.
3 numbers.
Donc,
911.
Leave.
Donc, sortez.
And when it comes
La
to them.
santé n'a pas de prix. Alors, nous sommes arrivés à la fin. On vous aime beaucoup. Et on se retrouve très prochainement encore sur un nouveau numéro de Conversation 2.0. Ciao.